Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make my triple malt chocolate cake. People love my chocolate cake. If you don't believe me, go to the YouTube video for it and scroll through the comments. It's full of the most amazing reviews. Since my husband is a total malt lover, I decided to take my chocolate cake recipe and turn it into a malted delight. We're going to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees and grease and flour two 9-inch round cake pans. We'll start out our batter by adding in 3 cups of all-purpose flour and then 3 cups of sugar. Next, we're going to chocolify this with some cocoa powder. You guys are always asking me what kind of cocoa powder I use, and the answer is, it depends on the day. I like to use the highest quality cocoa powder I can for it, but I do have a budget. Today I'm using a specialty cocoa powder, but sometimes I just use Hershey's. So I'll add in 1.5 cups of that. Next up is the first layer of malt in this triple malt cake. So we'll add in 1 cup of malted milk powder. You can find that in most American grocery stores, and it's usually near the coffee and hot chocolate. We'll finish off our dry ingredients with 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to give this a quick mix with a hand mixer, just enough to combine it. All right, next we'll add in our wet ingredients, and we'll start with 4 eggs. Get those in there, and I don't recommend an egg substitute for this. Then we'll add in 1.5 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have access to buttermilk where you live, simply put 1 tablespoon of either lemon juice or white vinegar into the bottom of a measuring cup. Fill it up with milk till it reaches the 1.5 cup mark. Let this sit for 5 minutes and you'll have a great buttermilk substitute. Then we'll add in 1.5 cups of warm water. Then we'll finish off our wet ingredients with 1/2 cup of vegetable or canola oil, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Then simply mix this all together until it's well combined. Once our batter is mixed, we can divide it among our 3 prepared cake pans. This recipe makes a 3-layer cake. If you want to make a 2 or 1-layer cake, divide the recipe by 2/3 or 1/3 in order to achieve your desired results. Half doesn't really work with this recipe. I've found that it takes just over 3 cups of the batter to divide it evenly among the 3 pans. Bake these in the 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. And I'm baking mine 2 at a time. I'm only using 2 pans, and you want them in the center of the oven. Now, at some point while your cakes are either baking or cooling, you'll want to put together your malt frosting. We're going to start with 8 ounces of cream cheese. To that, we'll add in 1 cup of salted butter. Get those in there. And then I'm just going to cream this together with my hand mixer until it's light and fluffy. All right, next we'll add in the second layer of malt in this triple malt cake with 1.5 cups of malted milk powder. Get that in there and add in a tablespoon of vanilla extract as well. And we're going to mix this together. Once that's smooth and creamy, we can finish off our frosting by adding in powdered sugar. I plan on adding in about 6 cups, and I'll add it in 1/2 cup at a time. The actual amount you will use will depend on your personal taste preferences, but you want to make sure that you have a really thick frosting. A thick frosting will hold up better under the layers. So we'll just mix this in about 1/2 cup at a time. Once your cakes have cooled completely, you can go ahead and assemble your cake. If you try to assemble it while the cakes are still hot, you'll have a melty, sliding all over the place cake mess. It'll still be delicious, but it'll be a total mess. Give the bottom piece of cake an even layer of frosting. Then add on the middle layer and frost that as well with an even layer. Add on the 3rd layer and frost the tops and sides of your cake. Next, it's time to give our cake that 3rd layer of malt with chocolate malt balls. I've crushed up the malt balls and I'm going to press them onto the side of the cake. We're going to finish off this cake and make it really beautiful with a layer of chocolate ganache. For this chocolate ganache, I've just brought half a cup of heavy cream to a boil and poured it over 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Once the chocolate is melted, you just stir it all together and pour it right over the cake. You can even let it drip down the sides. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe for my triple malt chocolate cake. You can find the full written recipe and instructions in the video description. Be sure to subscribe and check out the rest of my channel, where you can find more than 150 restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. See you later.